everyone, welcome to another video. I have just been to my very first zine fair. If you watched my previous video, you might remember that I made my own zine, Stop Paper Scissors, which was a community zine all about arts and crafts. And as I was doing my research, one of the things I found was that zine fairs and events are a big part of zine culture. If you're wondering what on earth is a zine, I'd really recommend checking out that video because I go into lots and lots of detail. But very briefly, zines are self-published publications about whatever you want them to be. So they're often very, very niche. You have zines, which are personal zines. You can get fanzines, which are normally about media or film or TV, sometimes about music. And they can really be about absolutely anything, which means that when you go to a zine fair, you never know what you're going to find, and that's what's really exciting. The zine fair I went to was held in Brixton Library in London. It was really small, but it had a fantastic selection to choose from. And what I'm going to do is I thought we could sit down, have a little cosy chat, and I'll show you all of the zines that I've picked up. I'll talk to you about the ones I've read, the ones I want to read, and we'll just have a nice little laid back chat where I get to tell you all about these amazing zines and zine makers that I've discovered through this fair. The atmosphere in Brixton was amazing. As soon as I stepped out of the station, I could smell all this incense, and it's such a buzzing community. The zine fair was just brilliant. It was this synergy of all of these cultures and interests and niche passions, and I managed to get some really good stuff. I can't wait to show you what I picked up. So without further ado, let's get into the zines. Okay, let's start with the zines that I've already read. First up, we have My Achy Breaky Heart, which is a zine all about a breakup. It's by this zinester called Olivia Cerise, and I got to meet them at the zine fair and they were so lovely. I'm going to be using the pronoun they to discuss the zinesters I met, just because I'm not 100% sure what all of their preferred pronouns are, so I hope that's okay. But Olivia was so lovely and we actually did a little zine trade. I had my zines on a communal table. Unfortunately, I didn't sell any of them, but I was able to trade with other people. So this was one of the first trades I did. This is just such a beautiful zine. I'm going to do a little flip through. It's really funny. Olivia uses all of these collages and she references pop culture, and I really enjoyed it. I think it would be a great gift for someone maybe going through a breakup because it looks at the emotions seriously, but it also is quite comforting and funny and a bit tongue-in-cheek. So I loved that one. One of my favourite tables was the Vampire Hag Zine Distro. This is a fantastic zine organisation and you can buy their zines online at the Vampire Hag website. And honestly, I wanted to buy everything on their table. I was trying to be careful with money, so there was a lot more I would have wanted to buy, but I tried to rein it in, I tried to hold it back, and this is what I got from that table. These might be my favourite zines I picked up. I just absolutely loved them. So this is a project that was called Fanzine YNFYTYN. I still don't know what that stands for. That's one of the things about zines, that they're a little more difficult to look up because obviously they don't have any ISBNs on or anything. So you sometimes need to do a bit of digging into the history, but these were just so entertaining. They're about this lady called Emma Jane, and these are true diary entries of places she's visited. So this one was about a weekend in Paris on little to no budget, and it was also a non-touristy trip because Emma is quite familiar with France. And then this one came with a mini zine inside, which I absolutely love. I love it when zines have little extra things or extra gifts in them. And this was about when Emma went to Bognor Regis for a while. I absolutely loved it. It was so funny. My favourite page was when Emma visited Robert Smith's house. Because I'm a big Cure fan, love hearing about Robert, and it was really funny. They also talked about all of the charity shops that they visited. I absolutely loved it. Next up, we have a couple of zines by Tukru. I hope I'm saying that right. Tukru is a non-binary zine creator, and they created these amongst a plethora of other zines. They have been really productive. I've read both of these and I loved them. They have a little series called Your Pretty Face is Going Straight to Hell, which again is like a diary entry, all in black and white. I really liked reading this. These zines that are diary entries kind of give you like a fly on the wall perspective of someone else's life, but not in a glossy Instagram way. It's much more intimate and personal. I really enjoyed this one. I want to try and pick up a couple more from this series if possible. And then this zine here was something really special. This is called Bat Habitat, and this is all about Tukru's experience coming out as non-binary. I found it really interesting. I absolutely love the Moomins and this risograph printed cover. I managed to get the last risograph printed one. I was really chuffed with that. This was really interesting because it charts from 2019 to now and Tukru coming out to all their family, and I really wanted to read that personal, intimate perspective of what it feels like to be non-binary. So I found this really valuable. I'm thinking I might pass it on to my friend, or I might even read it again, but I'm really happy I got a copy of this. Then we move on to the zines I haven't got round to reading yet, but I'm very excited about. Here we have 5 zines, all by the same person. I was especially drawn to this cover. It's a zine called Chewin', and it's about food and music, and it looks really cool. I got all of these for free in exchange for 1 copy of my zine, because the person running the stall was really keen to pass their zines on, and I just can't wait to read them. They've got some really cool recipes in there. I also got a sticker and some badges with the Chewin' logo on, and other imagery, which I really love. I've been wearing those a lot. And I'm thinking I might pass some of these issues on to my auntie after I've read them. One of the things I'm keen to do is keep a lot of these zines in circulation. Some of them that I really connect with I will be hanging on to, but I think there are other people that would benefit from them as well. And because these zines can be quite hard to get hold of, I think that could be a really cool gift for people. This was another trade. This was from a zinester called Tubbing Rummy, who is obsessed with cats. And all of the funds from their zines go to cat charities. But this artist also made beautiful cat jewellery and badges. I'm going to link their work down below. Even though I am more of a dog person, I am really excited to read this. I need to give a shout out to an artist that I met when I was there. I can't remember their name off the top of my head. I'm going to put it here. But I had this amazing exchange with them. They had created so many fantastic zines. Most of them were RZA printed. But the mask I was wearing was a Liberty vintage print that I got off Etsy ages ago, but I just loved the fabric. And it turned out that this person's mother designed the fabric. It was a crazy moment. I was like, the universe was meant to bring us together. But they made these little fortune cards with poems on them, and they read my fortune, and it was so beautiful, and I really enjoyed meeting them. They've also written a book called Welcome to Inkland, which I love. You can actually buy it at Waterstones, and it's poems written in the language that their grandmother spoke in, because their grandmother emigrated from Germany during the war, and I absolutely loved hearing them read these poems. It was so funny and really touching and entertaining, and I really want to try and pick up this book at some point. There was then this really cool student zine distro that had loads of free zines that you could take. I did make a small donation because I took quite a few, but I got this one for my mum, which is about rewilding witchcraft. It's tied to Extinction Rebellion, I think, but my mum loves all things nature and witchcraft, so I think she'll really enjoy that one. I then picked up this one, which I'm going to read, but I might also pass on to a friend, which is this kind of satirical story about climate change, I think, but told in a sort of fairy tale narrative. It looks really interesting. I also got this zine called What is Green Anarchy. This one I also picked up for my mum. It does look quite dense inside, as you can see. No pictures in there, but I thought I'd get it since it was there. And then this one I picked up for my friend Anya. I'm really excited. It's called Primitive Tooth Care, and it's about how people used to brush their teeth in days gone by. As you can see, a very good example of a niche zine. But Anya has a bit of a thing for teeth. She loves teeth, aesthetically, the look of them. So I thought she'd find this quite entertaining. I did a trade with this lady called Kate, who calls herself Patsy Decline, and I managed to get this zine, which is Fat Characters on TV We Have Loved. I love this. I'm going to pass this on to my friend Anya because I think she'd really like it. And I also picked up an incredibly niche zine discussing the problematic and the good about the Police Academy, which is one of my dad's favourite films. So I picked that one up for him. I did not expect to be getting a zine for my dad, but I thought he'd enjoy that. And he has actually read it and he did quite like it. I then got this one. You can't really see this very well. This was another free one. It's called Deserting the Digital Utopia. And this is more of an essay, so again, quite dense. But I thought it looked quite interesting. It's discussing humans and social media. So I thought that could be more of a contemplative, I can't say that word. Contemplating thoughts, you know that word. It could be a thinking zine, a thinking session. The last zine I picked up was also from Vampire Hag Distro. This is DIY Witchery. I think it sounds really cool. It's by Alex Reck, who was a zinester in Portland, Oregon, and it's all about secular witchcraft and spellcraft, and I just thought it sounded really intriguing. So I did fork out £4 and I can't wait to give that one a read. I also picked up this really cool stamp this book belongs to. I can't wait to make some little stamps of that. That was from the Free Zine distro and I love it. It's got a little owl on it. I can't wait to use that one. So that's all the zines I picked up at the Zine Fair. I've got quite the stack. I can't wait to work my way through them and also pass them on to friends. Let me know if there are any that you spotted that you'd like to read. Also, do let me know if you have any zine recommendations. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a like and you can also hit subscribe, but only if you fancy. I hope you have a lovely week. I hope you read lots of zines and I'll see you next time. Bye!